Hey everybody, David Lemon here. I just wanted to mention some of the updates that went live for GroovePages. Some of these changes went live before our launch, that was happening last week, and some of the changes went live just a couple of days ago. So the first thing I want to mention is something that we added. It's a new functionality that is for managing backgrounds. In case you select a block, for example, you head over to the background section, and now you can see that the second option here is a slider for managing the background blur. If you click on the little slider and slide it towards the right, you can see that the background is getting blurrier, which makes the text and the content on the actual block stand out more. If you have a look also, we didn't make this a part of either the image section or the video section, which means that the background is kind of a global styling for images and videos combined. So you can also blur videos and you can blur image backgrounds, whichever you prefer. So that's a pretty cool way to stand out from the crowd with your websites. The next thing that we added is a way to reset styling if you made any styling changes through the text styling over here. Once you select any kind of text element and you apply, for example, a color, we didn't have a way to manage this yet. So now we added on a text styling reset button. So once you click this reset button, now you have the settings back to as they were previously before you managed the actual styling through the text styling options. The next thing that we have is for those of you that are using countdown timers. We made the management of the countdown timer styling a little bit easier. So if you have a countdown timer, you know that you need to manage each and every one of these as a separate element, which gives you a lot of flexibility. You can do all sorts of different things. You can have different fonts, you can have different colors and sizes and shapes and things like that. Let me just make this a little bit more rounded on here, for example. And now in order to do this same thing, you would need to apply that on these hours, minutes, and seconds as well. We now modified only the days. So as you can see here, this little brush, we added on this little brush which makes you copy the style and then paste it into the other one, which basically pastes in the styles of the previous section. So now you just need to go in, modify the actual text a little bit, and then you are good to go. It just makes things a little bit faster for everybody to manage their countdown timers. It copy pastes the styling from the first section that you created. The next thing that we added is a very cool way to manage upsells, downsells, any kind of sales pages where you want people to take to make sure that they are focusing on the content and they pay attention. So if we go into pages and then we click on these little three dots, you can see that we have now settings, and inside the settings we have exit page by confirmation. If you turn this switch on, this makes the browser prompt a confirmation message that says, are you sure you would like to leave the page? Which makes it super convenient on one-time offers. For example, in case you have an upsell and that upsell is a one-time offer, you can create it as a page confirmation or browser confirmation by turning this switch on. And this is unique to our page builder. I haven't seen any other page builder do this. It actually makes the browser pop up a notification as the customer wants to leave the page, prompting that if they leave the page they could lose changes. And this is a very cool way to actually get people to stay on your upsell page and go through your funnel. The next thing that we did is an improvement to the style editor menu. If you haven't seen it before, we previously had a little bit differently organized style editor. Now we manage the actual important things to the top and the least important things towards the bottom. Previously we had the global styles on the number one place. Now we have text options. The next thing is background, border, animation. The more important things are towards the top, and the less important things were added towards the bottom of the style editor for ease and convenience of modifying things on the canvas. Video background feature, I showed it earlier. We made the video background feature nicer and easier to manage. with this little tabular option. So you can choose an image, you can also choose a video, where we also prompt that setting up a background image is important too, because sometimes the image will load faster than the video. So if you prefer to use a video, you can just turn it on here, and then you have ways to manage the actual selection of the videos through these categorizations over here. The next thing that we added is a management of the button sublabel. If you click on a button, if you come over here to the configurations, now you can see that you have sublabels that you can add over here, and you can also manage the sublabel directly here. Previously, when we added on the sublabel functionality, you had to click on the actual canvas and type in the text for the sublabel on the button. We just think that it's easier to manage the labels over here in the sidebar, and it makes it a little bit more convenient where you can immediately see all of the changes that you're doing. Selecting a text while renaming the pages won't move the pages away. That's one of the improvements that we did, and let me just explain what that is. If you, for example, for some reason go and rename this text, instead of page 4, you rename it to confirmation page. Okay, and now you actually don't want this. If you want to select this text on this page, that was not possible before. When you actually selected the page, that was moving the actual page up and down and left and right, because of this functionality that we have for moving the pages up and down. So previously, if you would have clicked over here and you drag down the page, that would have moved, but that actually made this functionality of selecting the text while renaming impossible. So now we have managed it a little bit differently. So if you're renaming the pages and you want to select the text on it, it will not move the page away. And also, one of the interesting things that we managed and made it easier, when you select a template that has already some navigation, like for example this one, if we select this template and import it, it will show the navigation options from the template, but it will immediately automatically change the actual navigation elements over to those that you have added inside your pages. And this was for your convenience, so you don't actually have to go and delete the previous menu items that were added on the template. So it's just going to show up for a moment, and then it's going to import all of your pages that you have added inside your pages section here. Another cool thing that we did is we made the modification of the text a little bit easier. So now while you're typing the text, the actual pink border is not showing up. If you click out and you click back in, you can see the pink border, but once you start typing, it's not showing up anymore. That was fixed from a previous version that we had. Also, in case you select some element, for example this image, and if you go into the borders and then custom borders, these custom borders were not showing up properly. They were not you were not able to manage them separately by just selecting the borders that you want, and then those would not show up on the canvas. Now it's working beautifully. The next thing that we worked on is a big fix for the pop-ups. In case you were using any kind of pop-ups before, they were very frequently breaking for unknown reasons. Now our dev team decoded those reasons, and we made sure that it actually works and doesn't break. And another cool thing is that it actually saves in the background. In case you click the save button, you saw it immediately popped you out, and it saved the pop-up inside the backend of the GroovePages system. If you come back, you will see that your pop-up is here. So the save and exit and the save buttons are now super quick because they work in the background, and they were previously working on the canvas. They were making you wait while the saving was done. We also had certain cases where users were publishing their pages, and inside a URL of their pages, there were uppercase letters. In case of those uppercase letters, the pages would show a 404 error. Now GroovePages recognizes those uppercase letters, and we convert them all to small, to lowercase letters, and it loads beautifully now. Also, resizing buttons previously was giving issues because when you were resizing the button text was staying to the left hand side, so it was aligned to the left even if you resize it. Now we managed it nicely so that it stays centered when you actually resize a button. And we also had issues where when you clicked on the source code editor over here, the actual source code editor was blank. It was just white space. Now that's not happening anymore. It was also happening on the code embed element, and that was fixed as well. So in case you drop in a code embed element, and if you head over to the source code editor, it's not showing this white blank space anymore. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. These are some of the changes that we deployed recently. We're working on many more, and hopefully these will make your life easier in editing the pages, and also your site's way cooler with the background options, with the video backgrounds and sublabel management and things like that. And definitely make sure you test out this functionality for the exit confirmation. If you have any kind of upsells or downsells, you may want to turn this on, because it's going to make the user stay on your one-time offers, make the user stay on your upsell downsell pages, and really focus on the content that you added on those pages there.